Grüns is a brand that was started by a Stanford student in 2023, and as we all know, is now worth over $500 million. And they were profitable within 14 months, which is kind of unheard of, especially in the wellness industry. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to break down their entire funnel on exactly how they scaled so quickly, what the winning formula was, because it's a combination of paid media and retention. So I want to go through the entire funnel that you can pretty much just plug and play it into your own business. And honestly, all of it starts with ads. And if we take a look at their ad library over here, you can see that they're currently on one page, because keep in mind they have a kids page and they have multiple other pages. On one page, they're running 410 different ads, and they're doing a combination of static ads combined with video ads. Now, the real value that they unlocked is not in the ads. It's going to come later on in this video where I explain the funnel that they use to convert that traffic into paying customers. It's something very specific that you can implant into your business, and I highly recommend you watch until the end. You're running their own ads. They're doing collaborations with influencers that have a little bit of an audience aligned with their current audience. So the main thing is they're finding what their pain points are. So for example, they're taking a huge stab at Ozempic. Ozempic is obviously a big caveat or kind of side tangent of their audience. And so they talk a lot about GLP-1s. You can see it further down over here. GLP-1s is mentioned again a few times. So hair shedding on GLP-1 is no joke. So this is kind of based as a supplement around all of what the marketing already is around Ozempic, for example. They're just taking that already educated audience and trying to talk to them and trying to cater to them, and obviously using influencers to their advantage. Now, the real kicker here is that they're catering to specific pain points, like I mentioned. So Ozempic being one of them, another one being people, trying to lose weight, another one trying to be people gaining focus. There's this huge caveats of the audience, and they split up into segments. And what they do really well, and what they figured out very quickly, is they didn't want to rely on impulse purchases through ads, meaning most e-commerce brands rely on about a 2.2% to 3% conversion rate on Shopify. That's not really reliable. So what they do is they lead everyone into a very specific pain point based page. So if you click on the Ozempic ad, you're going to get a very specific Ozempic landing page that educates you a little bit more about GLP-1s. Then they also redirect you based on whether you have hair loss, whether you have focus issues. They're going to then redirect you to a focus page. And what happens there is actually where the money lies. They're then going to capture their customers' information without losing it, because they figured out very quickly that they were already spending to acquire customers. So if they were already spending to acquire customers, why not make sure, number one, you can get more out of them, and number two, you can convert more customers at a higher rate, and number three, make sure that they return more frequently, because marketing does not stop at acquiring a customer. That's pretty much only 20% of the fight that you're trying to fight. The other 80% is making sure that they stay. And that's exactly what Grüns optimize on, and where they put majority of their time. And so with the sign-up form, what they do really, really well that you should absolutely set up with Alia pop-ups or Klaviyo is make sure that you have a pop-up form that shows up as soon as they land on any landing page. On that landing page, you want this pop-up to ask them where their pain point is right now. They can then go and select that, and from there, you're going to filter them in. So for example, here, the first step is they choose their pain point. From there, it tags a property on their Klaviyo profile or on their Shopify profile that you can later market to and send specific messaging to. That's what Grüns does really well. Then the next step is getting their email address. They're now already committed. They want their 52% off. This is an incredible offer, by the way, that you should absolutely market to your customers. A high percentage, that is a no-brainer. An interest-based question, so they don't feel like they're being sold to. Then the next step is giving over the email address. Simple, easy extra step. This automatically fills in. That's not an issue. Then it is an optional SMS sign-up. They do something really well where they're breaking up their sign-up form into different steps, so you're already committed, but also these micro commitments. Instead of having to fill out your email, a pain point, and an SMS. Instead, it's like broken down into steps where you've already captured the information you need. This now just becomes kind of an added bonus as an additional touch point. Then from there, what we're doing is they're going straight into a welcome flow that is catered to what they chose. So remember, when you first land on the pop-up form, you're choosing a very, very specific pain point. And for my case, one of the ones that I chose was gut problems, and the other one that I chose just for validation of what they were doing is I chose brain support. And the interesting thing is they sent very, very catered to messaging for all of that. And they, number one, sent an email straight away. So you can see their kind of frequency of sends. So they first sent an email saying, hey, we heard that you're looking for pain point. So that in my case, it was, hey, we heard you're looking for healthy gut. And they send this over and they basically start explaining why their product is the ideal for that pain point. And that's exactly what a welcome flow needs to do. Because keep in mind, you are relying on impulse purchases. These are people that don't know your brand. These are not retargeting ads. These are not people that already have bought in. These are specifically people that need to know more about your brand. They don't trust you yet, and they need to know more. And so their first email does exactly that. They've got a call to action in the top fold, and they're strategically sending very specific messaging about gut problems. And from there, they have a CTA here. They show someone actually holding their product, and then they explain gut in terms of a infographic, so it's easy to digest and easy to understand. They then have reviews at the bottom so that you trust them, number one, and number two, you have all the answers you need about gut, but they're not overdoing it. Then the second one is super important. The next one is really, really, really important about their difference, and that's what they do so well and what your structure needs to be. Number one, a simple welcome email where you explain your product and why it's superior, and with simple call to action. It's not that much longer. The second email that they do super well is they are then comparing themselves to the industry. Because if you didn't buy from email one, it's likely not a pricing issue or a trust issue. It's the fact that you don't know why you would rather buy this product than another one. And so they figured that out, and they built an entire email around why Grüns is the better supplement. They show pricing, which caters to one of the pain points someone probably has. They're also then showing everything that is the benefit to them. Then email number 3, again, super simple infographic. They're showing you exactly what you wanted to get, and then they're showing some trust factors. So, hey, did you know only 1 in every 400 people return their gummies? And that is just a really great trust factor, and they're showing real people using their gummies, which is super important. Then, of course, they start giving you some information. So, hey, here's why you need it. Here's what it does. Here's how it does what it does. And then, again, same thing. The next email in the flow is the same. So in this, they actually have around 5 different emails going through their welcome flow. Each one is tackling different pain points. It is continuously pushing this, and is continuously reminding them of their 52% off. So important. Then what happens is they take an additional step, they add something to their cart, and then they get filtered into the cart flow. And the cart flow, interestingly, is where most brands are losing so much money, including you, because you probably only have 2 or 3 emails here with the incorrect timing. Now, their timing was pretty interesting. You can see the frequency of the sends. They sent 1 on day 1, they sent 2 on day 2, then they sent 2 on day 3, and then they sent their last one on day 4. So essentially, they sent 2 emails pretty much kind of almost every day. And what they did is they were trying to capture me in my high intention state. So they showed me exactly what I left behind. They kept the email super short. They said complete your order, so that I felt like I'd already pre-committed, like I was in the middle of an order, I have to complete it. They're not saying, hey, you left this behind, or you forgot this, or, return to your cart. They're saying complete your order right now. Here's exactly what you chose. Complete your order. So in the first 5 seconds, I have a call to action that's very clear. Then what they do so well in this flow is they're recapturing people based on their pain points. At this point, the pain point again is number 1, you don't trust them. Number 2, you don't know how this product is different. And so they are showing you exactly how it is different. They're showing you their supplement facts so you trust them. They're being transparent about everything. They are so clear. And then they have the review section at the bottom. Likewise with email 2, simple reminder, they're showing you exactly what you left behind, and then they have a UGC section so you can see real people using the products. Then this one again, another reminder, super simple with a fact and with some nutrients infographics. Just super digestible things. Every single email gets you closer to the point of placing an order because they are kind of just showing you all of the pain points you're probably facing. Then the last email, again, basically robbery. Get a bigger discount today only. So it's like this, we call it an espresso shot deal. We do this for a lot of our clients, and this works incredibly well. They're basically saying, hey, this is the last time that you're going to get this, and we're throwing in a 30-day money back guarantee. Plus, additional save on your order. So everything is so clear. They are pushing urgency. They're showing all the different sections that you probably need. And I recommend that you pause this and you kind of recreate this. Now, I do have another video that goes over the cart and the checkout and exactly how to structure it, how to build it out correctly. And if you're just looking for an agency to come in and do all of this for you the same way that Grüns does, then go down below and book in a call. We'll do this for you. It doesn't stop at the cart abandonment. The next step is the campaigns. Now, their campaigns are pretty interesting. And if we go back up, you can see how frequently they're actually sending. So if we take a look at the dates, they're pretty much almost sending every single day with a few exceptions. So you can see that in October, August, they were sending pretty much every day. So the 9th, they sent 2 on the 11th, they sent 1 on the 12th, 13, 14, 17, 20, 21, 23, 25. So you can see how frequently they're sending. Sometimes there will be a gap of 2 days in between, and they carry that over. Same thing in October, right? So you can see the 14th, 15, 16, 17, 17, 28. So sometimes they do have a little bit of a gap, but for the most part, they're kind of sending every single day. And here are the different campaigns that they're sending, because this is how you need to structure your campaigns. Number one, they're essentially saying, hey, this is obviously going to non-purchases, by the way. They've obviously put me into a segment of non-purchases because I've never bought their product. And so what they're doing is they're saying, hey, you haven't tried us yet. How is that so? Here is exactly a this versus that. And you'll notice that this is a simple formula that they use in most of their emails. They use the typical this versus that or a table format showing how they compare. You can see it in the next email as well. So number one, they're talking about how they're the number one listed green powder in the world. And then they're obviously showing a us versus this. So again, just a simple format. They do it again over here in this email, us versus them. Do it again over here, just like a simple timeline, simple infographic. Then us versus them. So this is obviously the number one pain point that they figured out their audience has, and this is how they're catering to the entirety of their audience and generating consistent revenue. The people who are not purchasing are fed all of this information about how they compare, and by the end of it, there's no brainer that they're the ultimate and the superior product. And for anyone that has purchased, they're pushing them onto subscription programs. So they don't get these emails. They know that they're better. Now what they're doing is they're going to start pushing subscription emails to the people that have actually placed an order with them. So they follow this consistent formula. It works very well. They have their headline, call to action, image. Headline, call to action, image. Headline, call to action, image. It's consistent. Then the next section is always infographic. So us versus them. Us versus them, us versus them, a little bit of a timeline, us versus them again, infographic, us versus them. You can see almost every email, if not every second email, is consistently the same formula of an us versus them to their non-buyers. But to people who have actually purchased, instead what they're doing is they're talking about their subscription, how much they're going to save, how important routine is, and they're doing all of that. And again, they continuously reiterate the code or the discount that you get in your first purchase, and continuously. Then over here, you can see how they say you can save an extra 52% on your order, and they push the same agenda whenever you subscribe and save. Hey, you can save additional when you subscribe and save. In every email, they push their trust factor. They always show real people with the products. You can see that in every single image. It's very rarely just an email like this with just their product photos. It is always someone holding the products. It's different demographics. So this is an older person. This is a person of color. People of all backgrounds is what they're strategically showing. Then they have the infographic section that's a little bit more product heavy. And then the bottom section that again is lifestyle orientated. The more lifestyle, the better. There's obviously a winning formula for them. So there's super simple ways that you can implement this into your brand. And let me summarize it for you. Number one, continuously test ads between static and visual video ads. Make sure that you're collaborating with other people that already have audiences. And if you don't have as much of a budget, simply just allocate some of your ad sets. Make sure that it is getting a ton of your revenue to begin with. So allocate a big budget, find your winners, kill the losers, and immediately scale up those winners. But always, always, always do a variation of number one, statics that speak to a specific pain point. Number two, visual campaigns that you reuse some of your influencers. And number three, collaborations with your influencers that you then sponsor. Then when it comes to the traffic actually being captured and converted, you want to make sure that they're landing on a high impact page where an entire pop-up form covers the entire page. They have to choose their interest and then fill out the email. That way you're not losing on gathering their information, so you can retarget them later without needing to spend on retargeting ads. It's so much cheaper and so much more of a winning formula to make sure that you increase AOV, increase your converting customers, and increase the frequency at which they spend. And the only way to do that is with a retention system with email and SMS. So make sure that you have those ads, make sure you have the sign-up form, make sure that you're leading them then to a welcome flow of about 5 different emails to tackle all their pain points and explain the product as clearly as possible. And then if they take an additional high intention action like looking at a specific product or abandoning the cart or the checkout, make sure that you're sending very specific messaging that is simple, filled with infographics, and filled with trust that goes to those people. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure you're consistently sending out campaigns the same way they are, at a really high frequency of no less than 4 campaigns a week. And those campaigns need to follow a winning formula. Do some split tests on this. This is what we do with our clients. We split test a lifestyle versus a product-based image. We find the winner consistently for those. Then we'll take those winners. That's our winning formula. Then what we'll do is we'll split test in our first them section. We'll split test different variations of longer versus shorter emails. We'll throw in some plain text. That is so, so important. And this is how Grüns was able to scale so phenomenally fast. The same way that other brands try, but they fail, is because they focus on a retention system that conveniently and really reliably converts new customers, increases AOV, and increases the frequency at which they return. And that's exactly how you can increase your revenue as well. So again, go down below, book in a call with us if you are an e-commerce brand trying to scale with this quality of emailing. I have other videos showing you how we do emails like this. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one.